nearly 1,000 Russian citizens are injured after a meteor explosion in the sky on Friday morning. You are watching an amateur video of the object speeding across the sky just after sunrise. The Russian Academy of Sciences estimates the meteor weighed up to 10 tons and entered the Earth's atmosphere going at least 33,000 miles per hour. It shattered between 18 to 32 miles above the ground. And I am joined by Bill Martin today, who currently works for the Oklahoman but has a degree in astrophysics, correct?
Yes.
So am I joined by a true rocket scientist today?
Yes, actually.
Well, very cool, very cool. So can you kind of describe to me what happened outside the Earth's atmosphere earlier this morning?
Well, there's a lot of rocks and debris that are in our solar system, and periodically we travel. You'll occasionally look up in the nighttime sky and see what's called a bolide, a meteor that suddenly very bright appears. And that happens, on average, you should be able to see one an hour or so, even unless you're really, really dark places where if we're in the middle of a meteor shower. So this material is always falling into the Earth all the time. Tons of it comes into the Earth's atmosphere every single day. This was obviously a little bit bigger chunk, and it got caught by the Earth's gravity, was pulled in, and caused a rather spectacular display in Russia. Kind of exciting. A lot of people were caught off guard, and probably a lot of people were very afraid because this huge sonic boom just blasted through the entire township area and caused quite a stir.
Right, so can you kind of describe to me whether it shattered into a bunch of pieces when it shattered in the Earth's atmosphere, or was it more of a disintegration effect?
Yeah, basically, you can kind of think of it as a snowball. If you throw a snowball and kind of throw a loosely packed snowball, or even a tightly packed snowball, and you throw it kind of medium speed or medium strength, it stays together and it stays cohesive. If you throw it super hard, it disintegrates from the force. And basically what happens here is we have a chunk of rock and debris, and it's coming through the Earth's atmosphere, and when it hits that shock wave area, it gets hit by that and basically disintegrates very much in a kind of close analogy the same way. And what you can see on the video is this object hits and then suddenly explodes and becomes a collection of particles or smaller rocks as it comes into the Earth's atmosphere.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I heard there was another asteroid today going by Earth's atmosphere. Does that have any relation to what happened in Russia earlier?
Only in the fact that it might have been following along with it. We're going to see events like this from time to time. In fact, we have planet-wide planet-killing events that happen every couple 100 million years or so. So eventually, we're going to see stuff. You can look in Arizona and see the Barringer Crater. That was an event that happened 50,000 years ago, and that was something that was about 50 meters across or so, or about 54 yards. And that caused a crater of about 4,000 feet. There hasn't been any cratering from this one because it exploded in the air, but occasionally big chunks do hit the planet, and it's going to happen over time. The close approach by the larger asteroid that's going to happen around 1 o'clock or so today, from what I understand, is about 17,200 miles away.
Okay.
So it's closer than our farthest satellites.
Okay.
But from what I understand, there's no danger of it hitting any communication satellites or anything. It might hit something smaller or smaller debris in our kind of cloud of space junk we have around our planet right now.
Right.
Somebody joked it might be debris from the Mir space station left or something like that. But it's not going to disrupt us at all.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so was this situation a rare occurrence, or do we have meteors come past our Earth's atmosphere and it kind of disintegrates, but it's on a smaller effect?
Much smaller effect. You can see one from time to time. You can, like I said, every night you can probably go out if you sit out on a dark, starry night and just simply look up. Eventually you're going to see a meteor at some point. Maybe you see it once an hour, or maybe even a little bit rare, but meteors happen all the time where there's constantly stuff. It's usually small, like about the size of your thumb. That causes kind of a nice display, and you're like, "Ooh, look at the meteor!" But bigger events like this are obviously, the bigger chunks are more rare, and to see something like this that causes a sonic boom, it's not super rare, but something on this scale is kind of rare.
Okay, and so Was this one, so it was considered bigger than usual, 10 tons? How big is that for a usual meteor? Or does it just vary in?
It's probably about the size of a Volkswagen Bug.
Okay. Are there any more expected today to come into the Earth's atmosphere?
Well, things that are small are really hard to detect. We can detect things that are the big planet-killing size, or the things that would cause a kind of a global climate change are pretty easy. But when we started getting to smaller and smaller types of chunks of rock and space debris, and it becomes tougher and tougher to detect these because they don't give off any light of their own. They only give off light that's reflected from the sunlight. And unless we can see them motion in that particular motion in the sky, it's very difficult to track and predict what it's going to be. The bigger ones, real easy to track. If we have enough people paid to be looking for it, they're called near-Earth objects, or NEOs.
Okay.
And there is a team of people that actually do track that. That team has grown over the last few years, although it still is woefully very, very small, especially for the number of objects that are being tracked.
Okay, so it wasn't at all expected today. No one could have predicted it?
Nobody could have predicted this.
All right, well, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us today.
No problem.